Please welcome the host of Jimmy Kimmel Live, Jimmy Kimmel.
I don't know who's running the music, but if you're taking requests, I'd love to hear a little Huey Lewis. Hey, I know you guys missed the State of the Union because you're here tonight. I saw it, and I have good news. Everything is going great. Nothing to worry about. Trump talked more about aliens tonight than Sigourney Weaver. And right now he is at home in his tanning box, French kissing, and Arby's beef and cheddar. You know, in times like these, when reality feels like too much, we turn to fantasy to distract us from the horrible truths. And tonight, the Visual Effects Society is honoring two masters of the genre for their creative excellence as creators, writers, executive producers, and directors of a little show called Game of Thrones. This is a show that I love, and everyone loves. This is a show that changed the way we think of television, a show that raised the bar 10 notches and answered the question, can I masturbate to dragons? With a resounding, yes, I can. But none of it will be possible without visual effects. I mean, it'd be possible, but it'd be harder, you know. Great visual effects, as you know, draw us in, tell a story, and as they continue to improve, eventually will make our imaginations obsolete. For the last 8 years, passionate fans around the world have lost themselves in a land of magic and mystery, kings and queens, direwolves and dwarves, and through their artistry, David and Dan have turned millions of seemingly normal people into a bunch of Dungeons and Dragons loving geeks. Game of Thrones might very well be the most anticipated show in the history of television. Everywhere you go, you hear people say, when the fuck is it coming back already? Jesus. It is an enormous triumph, and anyone who knows the men who made it will tell you that you will not meet two kinder and more humble guys, David Benioff and D.B. Weiss. And it's my honor to present the Visual Effects Society Creative Excellence Award to David Benioff and D.B. Weiss.
Thank you, Jimmy. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Jonah, for those the lovely words you spoke earlier. It feels so wonderful to be up here, so vindicating. Don't get us wrong, we're not complaining. People have said nice things about the show, and that's great. They've even said a couple nice things about the writing, but does anyone ever give David and I due credit for the contributions we've made in the fields of compositing? Or fluid simulation, or real-time camera tracking and live previs of set extensions and CG elements? Have we ever gotten a single compliment about our groundbreaking subsurface scattering algorithms? Or our ambient occlusion maps, which are gorgeous? The way people act, it's almost as if we had nothing to do with these things, as if some other people were actually responsible for it all, and we were just stomping around, taking credit for their work, and I just think that it...
Yeah, we are.
What?
Taking credit for their work. That's sort of what we're doing now up here, is taking credit for their work.
Nah.
Yeah, we didn't do any of that stuff. That was all Steve Kolbeck and Joe Bauer. our VFX producer, and Joe's the supervisor, have been running things since season 2 and 3.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And Greg Spence, our post-production czar, who first introduced us to Steve and runs everything in post. And Adam Chazen and Chris Baird and the hundreds of insanely talented, dedicated, and overworked artists, producers, software engineers, and coders around the world. We write dragons flap around and burn shit, and then they do it all.
But
No, we didn't fuck their work up. That's what we did.
we're winning an award? We must have done something.
Yeah. I played Scrabble on my phone. You ordered fried shrimp from Mel's and made our assistant go get it.
Mel's.
When George Martin wrote the books on which Game of Thrones is based, he did so to escape the constraints that film and TV imposed on the imagination. When we first met him, he told us point blank it was meant to be unfilmable. And because of the people sitting at that table and that table, we filmed it. Steve and Joe have consistently, stubbornly refused to recognize limitations. They've never been about if, they've only been about how. They and their team made dragons and wights and dire wolves feel as real as the actors. Working with these gentlemen has been straight joy from the first to the last. This award rightly belongs to them. But we will take it because our names are already engraved on the trophies. Thank you to Cole Bauer, to the entire GOT VFX crew, and to the VES for this tremendous honor, which we accept on their behalf. Have a great night. Everyone in this room has worked more than hard enough to deserve it, and have fun tonight. Thank you.
Bye, everybody.